Ever wondered about the weird and wacky fears some people have? Phobias can range from the common, like fear of spiders, to the downright bizarre. Let's find out some of the strangest phobias out there. Don't worry, we'll keep it light and entertaining, and if you're new here, support us by subscribing. Ready? Let's go! Arachibutyrophobia, fear of peanut butter, sticking to the roof of your mouth. Imagine biting into a delicious peanut butter sandwich and suddenly freezing at the thought of that sticky sensation on the roof of your mouth. That's Arachibutyrophobia for you. It might sound trivial, but for those who suffer from it, the anxiety can be intense. This phobia can lead to avoiding peanut butter altogether or experiencing extreme anxiety at the mere thought of consuming it. Picnics or school cafeterias become no-go zones if there's a chance peanut butter is on the menu. Thankfully, exposure therapy, where one gradually gets used to peanut butter in a controlled setting, can help. Plutophobia, fear of wealth. Imagine being terrified of money. Yes, you read that right. Some people are scared of becoming rich. Plutophobia is the fear of wealth or becoming wealthy, and it can extend to the responsibilities that come with riches or even wealthy individuals. Picture this. You're offered a promotion at work, but the thought of a bigger paycheck sends you into a panic. Social situations involving wealthy individuals can become a source of dread. Therapy can be a game changer here, helping to address the underlying causes of the fear. Learning about financial management and the realities of wealth can also reduce irrational fears, and support groups can provide much-needed coping strategies. Optophobia, fear of opening one's eyes. Optophobia might just be one of the most debilitating phobias out there. Imagine spending most of your time in the dark or with your eyes closed, avoiding social interaction, work, and other daily activities. It's like living in a perpetual game of blind man's bluff, but without the fun. This phobia can severely impact daily life. Gradual exposure, where one slowly increases the amount of time spent with eyes open in a safe environment, can help. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, can address the irrational fear, and in severe cases, medication might be prescribed to manage anxiety symptoms. Ever played peekaboo with yourself to avoid opening your eyes? Or know someone who prefers the darkness? Globophobia, fear of balloons. Globophobia is the fear of balloons. Yes, those colorful party decorations can be a source of terror for some. The sight, sound, or even the thought of balloons can trigger this phobia. Imagine avoiding birthday events, fairs, or any occasion where balloons might be present. The sound of a balloon being popped can induce sheer panic. Desensitization, where one gradually gets used to balloons in a controlled manner, can help reduce fear. Working with a therapist to address the root cause of the phobia and using relaxation techniques like deep breathing can also be beneficial. Ever ducked for cover at the sight of a balloon? Or know someone who treats birthday parties like minefields? Allodoxaphobia, fear of others' opinions. Imagine you're at a party, but instead of mingling, you're glued to the wall, sweating buckets at the thought of someone judging your choice of shoes. Welcome to the funhouse of Allodoxaphobia, the fear of others' opinions. Social interactions feel like walking a tightrope over a pit of alligators wearing judgmental monocles. You might find yourself dodging parties or meetings like you're in the witness protection program, absolutely terrified at the idea of anyone criticizing you. The workplace? Forget it. Sharing ideas feels as risky as skydiving without a parachute. Ever felt the sting of allodoxaphobia? Or maybe you know someone who does? Arithmophobia, fear of numbers? Yes, numbers. For some, math is more terrifying than a horror movie marathon. Picture this. You're at a restaurant and the bill arrives. Instead of calculating the tip, you break into a cold sweat and consider just leaving an extra 20 to avoid the arithmetic. This phobia can turn managing personal finances into a scene from Jaws, complete with the ominous soundtrack. The dread of numbers can lead to serious life hiccups like avoiding careers in accounting or engineering, which isn't exactly ideal in our number-driven world. The consequences? Financial chaos and missed career opportunities, not to mention chronic stress. But fear not. Gradual exposure therapy can start with simple math problems, building up to more complex ones. And when the numbers get too scary, relaxation techniques can help keep that anxiety at bay. Nomophobia, fear of being without your phone. The modern-day terror of being without your mobile phone. Ever felt a pang of panic when your phone battery hits 5%? Or gone into a frenzy when there's no signal? That's nomophobia at work. Our phones have become our lifelines, and the mere thought of being without them can send shivers down our spine. This fear can make us check our phones obsessively, even when there's nothing new. The constant need for connection can wreak havoc on our stress levels, productivity, and real-life relationships. To combat this, digital detoxes are a great start. Set aside regular no-phone zones and times. Mindfulness practices can help keep you grounded in the present moment. Coulrophobia, fear of clowns. Let's be honest, who hasn't felt a bit creeped out by those painted smiles and oversized shoes? It's like every children's party comes with its own horror movie villain. This phobia often starts in childhood, thanks to creepy clown appearances in movies and TV shows. For some, just a glimpse of a red nose and white makeup is enough to send them running. But don't worry, you're not alone. Plenty of people share this irrational fear of balloon animals and exaggerated laughter. Ophidiophobia, fear of snakes. Ophidiophobia, the fear of snakes, is one of the most common phobias. Just thinking about those slithery creatures can make some people break out in a sweat. It's like a scene straight out of Indiana Jones, with snakes hiding in every corner, ready to pounce. For ophidiophobes, even a harmless garden snake can trigger a full-blown panic attack. This fear can make hiking in nature or visiting the zoo a nerve-wracking experience. But the good news? Exposure therapy and education about snakes can help reduce the fear over time. Ever jumped a mile high at the sight of a snake? Or have a friend who avoids the reptile house at all costs? Trypophobia, fear of holes. Trypophobia is the fear of clusters of small holes. It might sound strange, but seeing patterns of holes, like a honeycomb or a lotus seed pod, can make some people feel intensely uncomfortable or even nauseous. It's like your brain screams, "Nope, not today," at the sight of Swiss cheese. Scientists believe this fear might be linked to survival instincts, as many dangerous animals have similar patterns. But for those with trypophobia, it's just another odd quirk to navigate. Acrophobia, fear of heights. Acrophobia, the fear of heights, can turn a simple task like climbing a ladder into a death-defying stunt. For acrophobes, just looking down from a high place can make their legs feel like jelly. This phobia can make enjoying a scenic view from a skyscraper or hiking up a mountain a nerve-wracking ordeal. Ever felt your heart race at the top of a Ferris wheel? Or know someone who clings to the railing on every balcony? Somniphobia, fear of sleep. Imagine staying awake all night, binge-watching shows you don't even like, just to avoid the inevitable shut-eye. Welcome to Somniphobia, the fear of sleep. The thought of losing control or having nightmares can make sleep feel more like a horror show than a peaceful retreat. Chronic sleep deprivation from somniphobia can lead to serious health issues, including fatigue, impaired cognitive function, and even depression. Establishing a regular sleep schedule and creating a relaxing bedtime routine can help. Ever stayed up all night to avoid bad dreams? Chorophobia, fear of dancing. Imagine getting an invite to a party and immediately picturing a spotlight on you, waiting for you to bust a move. Horror movie stuff, right? This fear can lead to avoiding social events where dancing might happen, causing a serious case of FOMO, fear of missing out. It can tank your self-esteem and crank up your anxiety. Gradual exposure to low-pressure dance environments, taking dance classes can make a world of difference. And if all else fails, mindfulness practices can help you stay calm when someone inevitably yells, "Dance off!" Ablutophobia, fear of bathing. Ablutophobia, the fear of bathing, might sound funny until you think about the social and health implications. Avoiding showers can lead to some serious hygiene issues. Not to mention the awkward explanations when friends and family start keeping their distance. The thought of bathing can trigger panic, making personal hygiene a nightmare. Catastrophobia, fear of catastrophes. Catastrophobia is the fear of disasters. Whether it's earthquakes, floods, or man-made calamities, the fear can be paralyzing. Constantly checking the news for potential disasters or avoiding certain places can turn life into a constant state of anxiety. This hypervigilance can lead to chronic stress and avoidance behavior, limiting your lifestyle and opportunities. Ever prepped for a disaster that never came? Or know someone who's always bracing for the worst? Your opinion matters to us. Share us that in the comments and don't forget to subscribe. Pogonophobia, fear of beards. Pogonophobia is the fear of beards. This phobia can make interacting with bearded individuals feel like a horror show. Imagine avoiding conversations with your bearded boss or steering clear of places where hipsters gather. This fear can make social and professional interactions quite tricky. Gradual exposure to bearded individuals in a safe environment can help, as can CBT, to challenge and change negative thoughts about beards. Talking with others who have similar fears in support networks can also provide support and coping strategies. Ever cross the street to avoid a bearded person? Phobophobia, fear of phobias. Phobophobia is the fear of phobias themselves. Yep, it's like the inception of fears, being afraid of fear. Imagine constantly worrying about developing a new phobia, or even just thinking about phobias, which can spiral into generalized anxiety. This fear can make you avoid reading about or discussing phobias entirely. Mindfulness and relaxation techniques, such as meditation and deep breathing, can also help manage anxiety. Learning about phobias and understanding that they are treatable can reduce the fear and anxiety of developing them. Ever feared the fear itself? Or know someone who's afraid of being afraid? Heliophobia, fear of sunlight. Heliophobia is the fear of sunlight, which can turn your life into an eternal night. Imagine avoiding outdoor activities during the day, keeping your curtains closed, and using copious amounts of sunscreen and protective clothing. It's like living in a vampire movie but without the cool fangs. This phobia can lead to a lack of vitamin D and other health issues. Gradual exposure therapy, where one is slowly and safely exposed to sunlight, can help desensitize the individual to their fear. To mitigate the health impacts of avoiding sunlight, vitamin D supplements under medical supervision may be necessary. Joining support groups where individuals share similar experiences can also provide encouragement and coping strategies. Ever turned your home into a bat cave to avoid the sun? Or know someone who's practically a night owl? Share your heliophobia tales. And there you have it. A whirlwind tour of some of the quirkiest and most intense phobias out there. Which phobia resonates with you the most? Have you or someone you know dealt with any of these fears? Share us in the comments below, subscribe, and until next time.